What up, y'all? This is Erkan signing into another Gaming Thoughts with Z. This is a little segment I do after the completion of every newer game that I play and complete, where I give my own personal thoughts and opinions and tell you a little bit about it. Today we're going over Senua's Saga Hellblade 2. Though in my opinion, the title should be reversed. Hellblade 2 Senua's Saga. Anyways, there's my first thought on that. This is sort of an interactive psychological game. You're gonna see me a little bit confused by the entire thing because I end up being a little bit. The game, you can probably already guess, was a little bit lackluster for me. I'll get into things. So, you follow Senua's story, just like in the first game, where she battles her inner darkness, her inner voices, and stuff like that. And you follow her choices and matters, and see how things go. And probably hope that you yourself don't suffer from what she does, which is sort of a psychosis. A lot of voices in her head. So this game was a bit lackluster for me. I enjoyed it to a point, but I was also very disappointed in it. I know I just repeated that, but it's worth repeating. It was very lackluster in what it gave us. Comparatively to the first game was phenomenal. This is a sequel, obviously, because of Hellblade 2. The first game really just was her battling her inner psychosis, her inner demons, and traveling along the way to find closure. This game felt like that, but I think it leaned a little too heavy into it, and it kind of jumbled a lot of things. So I was kind of sad about that. So, okay, so apparently we're going to start with the bad stuff. So, it is very narrative. It is very story and narrative driven. There's really no actual choices you need to make in the game, which, in all honesty, that's perfectly fine with me. I'm okay with that. I would just like the story to actually make sense and actually be dramatic. This game felt like it was doing one thing and ended up doing another. It also, unfortunately, it left a confusing taste in my mouth. Just like, I don't think I cared for it. It was so essentially, it was very obsessed with its own theme where everything just got jumbled and felt very awkward. The story itself was also kind of rushed. It felt very rushed through a lot of things happening, a lot of cinematics, a lot of jumps, a lot of cuts, a lot more of those than the first game. The first game, it was you followed her, you were literally behind her the entire time. There was no jumps, no cuts, maybe some turning around the character while as she goes through her inner demons, inner psychosis. This game had that, but also it felt like it jumbled a bunch of stories in with it itself that it made things very awkward about. It was like fighting inner demons, sins of the fathers, stuff like that. It just felt very weird. Another thing with the head voices in the first game, they actually made you feel. They actually made you very paranoid. Like, is this actually in the game or is this actually in my own head? In this game, unfortunately, it just got annoying. They got really annoying. To the point where I'm just like, shut up. That's where I got. So it was very. You don't feel like Psychosis voices. You feel like just a bunch of it felt like a bunch of sort of backseat gamers telling you, hey, it's like, hey, do this, do this. No, it's this. No, maybe it's this. Wait, is that person doing this? It's just like it has just got a little bit overwhelming. It was also very short. The game itself was also very short. For how much, for the price tag on it? Like, I mean, I guess it might have been worth it. However, there was still a lot of stuff that just didn't make sense, or it just felt very short and rushed. Another thing that I didn't care for was the puzzles the game implemented. The first game, the puzzles, you can understand, but they were sometimes still a little bit hard to deal with, trying to figure out the right angles and right aspects of this game. This game felt very handheldy when it came to its puzzles. It just said, hey, here's a shiny thing. Look at the scenery right here. Hey, over here, right here. There you go. And puzzles were very simple. I know this is supposed to be like a story-driven game, but even that was kind of very lackluster. It just felt like, oh, that's really simple. Okay, find this. Okay, focus here. Okay, done. So yeah, there was a lot of those bad things, and amazingly enough, I didn't find any bugs. I didn't run into any bugs. There's a great thing. And if we're going to talk about great things, let's go ahead and jump into great things. The voice acting was phenomenal. I loved it. I really loved the voice acting. The scenery in the game, beautiful. I love the countryside look. The weathering, the actual terrain, the mere fact that when it's raining and you step in the mud, your footprint's right there. And it doesn't go away. It was great. I loved it. Like, even the clothing, the tapestries, the artistry, all was all great. The scenery itself is great. The music, now, granted, I played the game with in-streamer mode, so it means it cut out all the licensed music, so I wasn't able to hear any of that. But the music wasn't actually half bad. It was actually pretty good. I liked it. Kind of wish I would have played it without streamer mode now. But yeah, it was all right. It actually had a decent mechanic that I liked. A tad bit slightly annoying, kind of, but yeah, at the same time, it allowed you to do, okay, so in the first game, you had to find these poles, or these totems, and focus on them, and they would give you a story through a narrator. And they would tell you, and this narrator would tell you this part of the story. And collecting all those, you would get an achievement. This game, it technically has 2 of them, and they're all like in hidden places. This game allowed you to actually exit out into the main menu and go back to a chapter, go find what the totem or face is, essentially, that you missed, and grab it. And then exit back out and then continue where you left off continue where you left off in that game. It was great. I actually liked that. And it would carry over into your continuation. That I actually liked. So that way you didn't really have to play multiple playthroughs, though in a sense you kind of did. And it's in a sense, but I actually liked that. The thing that I absolutely really loved in this game was the facial expressions. Those were fantastic. It goes along with essentially the voices, or no, it's a completely different thing. The acting and the acting and facial expressions themselves was insane, phenomenal, great motion capture, and all of it. Really liked it. Really, there was also a lot of good stuff. Now the thing that was kind of mediocre, kind of in between, I will say, was the combat. The combat was very simple, almost a little too simple. I died. There was definitely times where I almost died, and but throughout the entirety of the game, roughly 9 hours, I only died twice. But that was literally in the same area because it was in the same area. I died once on my first go, and then I went back to grab a face, but I died in the same area again, which was weird. I ended up yada yada. Okay, so I died, but other than that, I never died. I only died those 2 times in the same area, surprisingly. But yeah, but I feel the combat could do with a little bit of improvement. There was still a lot of the combat actions. Like apparently there were some ways to do this a little bit better, like maybe even a kind of one-shot him. I don't know. There were still some parts of the combat that didn't make sense to me, even though it was very simple. It's just like, wait, is there ways to actually one-shot these characters? Maybe not. I don't know. But all in all, do I feel this game is worth its what was it, a $40 price tag, I believe? Yeah, $40. I don't think so. I don't think it was actually worth. Oh no, it's already checked that. $50. I do not think it was worth the $50. So I feel it could definitely do a lot better for if you're gonna pay for that $50. I personally don't feel that it's actually worth that. But the story itself, again, was probably the most downgrading from. The story and the head voices were probably the biggest downgrade from the first game that I felt very lackluster and fairly disappointed. I was not really impressed. There were some parts where I was like, "Oh, really?" But then I was like, "Oh, never mind." The ending felt very lackluster, very disappointing, and kind of that's it. Really, no, seriously, like that's it. That's what it felt like. That's it. That's it. Even at the end of it, I was like, "That's it." Okay. So, I mean, I would definitely play the first. If I had to, I would definitely play the first game again over playing 2 because I actually really enjoyed that one. I did like 2 for what there was to like about it. Everything else really made it feel very lackluster. And I'm repeating myself again, and I apologize. But that's my gist for Senua Saga Hellblade 2, which should be reversed. It could definitely be a lot better. There were definitely a lot of confusing parts. I wasn't even sure where the story was going, but yeah. So I hope this was very informative to you. I hope you understood. If you do like to play, if you are interested in playing this game, I would definitely recommend check out my playthrough or check out somebody else's playthrough. See if you're liking the aspects of it before you buy the game, because it is definitely one of those. Probably wait till it's on sale or something, which I rarely ever say for a lot of games. But I hope this was informative. Hope you liked it. But other than that, that's all I have for this segment. Hope you enjoyed. Hope this was informative. Repeating myself again. Sorry. So other than that, thank you all for watching. If you are going to watch my playthrough, I will have the link down in the descriptions below. Hope you check it out. Other than that, thank you for watching. As always, stay active, stay connected, and I'll see y'all in the next one. Bye, y'all.